I just finished watching WandaVision episode 6. This is going to be my spoiler-free review, but I do have a spoiler review coming later on today, so stay tuned for that. But without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. So episode 6 of WandaVision was absolutely crazy and insane, to say the least. It was a little bit underwhelming from a standpoint of the story actually moving forward, but in terms of the content that we got for now, it was awesome. I have a list of things that I want to go into talking about in this video, and obviously I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil stuff for you guys. But the first thing and the thing I touch on in almost every single spoiler-free review for WandaVision is the acting. This episode, the acting was awesome. Pietro was played really well, and Elizabeth Olsen just stepped up her acting to a whole nother level as Scarlet Witch. Paul Bettany did a crazy job in this episode. There's a few moments where you even forget it's Paul Bettany because you're so invested into the character of Vision because he just plays him so well. This is also my favorite episode that Agnes is in. These just have my favorite moments. The scenes with her in it in this episode are absolutely insane. And honestly, this show is starting to feel more and more like a horror show by the second. Whether it's from infomercials or things actually in the show itself, I guess you could say, it's just crazy. Like, you would never expect Marvel to do this stuff, and I'm just super excited to see what they do going forward, because if they're already taking these like little steps to becoming kind of making a horror show, I guess, I'm just excited to see what they can do in Multiverse of Madness. The next thing I want to talk about that I mentioned before is Pietro. I'm going to go a lot into detail into his character in my spoiler review because I have a lot to say about not just him, but also like the multiverse and how it all connects back to him. But in this episode, Pietro and Scarlet Witch's chemistry was off the charts. It was super fun to see them interacting on screen, as well as him and Vision. Wanda and Pietro are basically together like the entire episode. The next thing I want to talk about in this video is Sword. I like how Marvel kind of gave Sword that internal conflict in this episode, and it was kind of cool because we never really saw that before. We kind of got glimpses and hints at it before, that there was some sort of internal conflicts between Monica and then the main dude, Howard, I think it is. But it was super dope to kind of see that internal conflict because we're finally getting another like subplot conflict outside of what's just in Westview. Monica in this episode also talked about a cameo, which I don't think is going to be something super huge. Like, I don't think it's going to be that like Luke Skywalker cameo that Elizabeth Olsen was talking about. But I do think, you know, it might be like Nick Fury or Hawkeye or someone smaller like that, just to hop in the next episode and kind of give context, or maybe kind of tell us about Scarlet Witch so that Sword can actually learn more stuff and get more intel on her as basically just a human. Because if we think about it, up to this point, we don't really know, or Sword doesn't really know much about Scarlet Witch, and so I feel like it'd be cool to have someone else that's actually interacted and met with her before to kind of explain what's going on with her. They could also kind of explain to Sword what she's been through, because I feel like Hawkeye knows that like best out of all of the other Avengers and other heroes. If you guys remember that scene where basically Scarlet Witch is trying to leave with Hawkeye, but Vision tries to stop her. If Hawkeye is the cameo, he might bring that up and say like, oh, she loved him a lot, and then she lost him. She lost her brother Pietro, and then but everyone's gonna be questioning like, okay, why is he in the universe then? And then a bunch of multiverse stuff will probably get explained, and that would be pretty dope to see as well. Next thing I want to talk about is just the kids. This episode, they played a much bigger role. I really hope they go the dark route with the kids, where like one of their bodies gets taken over because like Nightmare or Mephisto needs a body to kind of take over for their soul. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just grew the kids up and maybe took one of them away, like kind of made one of them the body for Mephisto or Nightmare. But yeah, in this episode, the kids, their stories get developed a lot, and their characters excel a lot more than you would expect. Like I mentioned before, the cameo, I really think the next episode will probably gonna get one extra character that we've seen before in the MCU, but I don't really expect it to be the Luke Skywalker level cameo that Elizabeth Olsen was talking about. On top of that cameo, I wanted to mention that Paul Bettany said that he's never worked with this actor before, and he's already worked with the guy who plays Magneto in the X-Men movies, not the super old one, but the one that was in like Dark Phoenix and stuff. So my guess right now, I'm gonna get it on video, is Tobey Maguire. I personally think it's gonna be Tobey Maguire maybe at the end of this show or something, but I do think it's Tobey Maguire, and that is my pick. And yeah, guys, that's about it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to drop a like rating down below. Share it with your friends if you did enjoy. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.